Welcome to Mixology Phrenology. I'm Bitter Steve, and today we're going to make two amazing punch recipes and add just a little bit to our knowledge on clarification. We're going to start with Sake Sangria, an absolute favorite of mine, and end with the 1920s Planter's Punch.
What a night, people dancing in slow motion, blurry eyes.
Sake Sangria isn't my recipe. I found it on the internet. And even though I've made a few simple changes, I can't take any credit for sangria. There's like 1,000 variations. But I will take credit for the specific way that I clarify this cocktail. Let's get the recipe up, and you'll notice that the sake is separate. And we're going to clarify the sangria first and add the sake afterwards. Why? Well, sake is already soft and delicate, and is also clear. So there's no reason it needs to go through the clarification process. You've learned this trick, right? And then just add the rest of the ingredients: lemon, lime, and orange juice, simple syrup, and pomegranate juice. I've let this lager overnight, which means that the cold in the fridge has helped separate out a lot of the solids, which will aid in the clarification process. And while it's hard to see because of how dark it is, there is a thick layer of sediment on the bottom. And what are the main things needed here for clarification? That's right, tannins, from the wine this time, and citrus. I'm trying a new clarification rig using these 4-quart containers and dual nut milk bags. The key here is that I've cut off the bottom of the container and I've secured the nut milk bag using the drawstring. I've also made a second one. And once this goes through the first time, I'll add this to the top, hopefully allowing me to pour the punch through again without disturbing the curds. Now, we need to use a 4-to-1 ratio for the milk, and remember, this only includes the sangria ingredients, not the sake, so 10 ounces of milk to 40 ounces of sangria. Pour it in and let it sit absolutely undisturbed for 1 hour. Hey Siri, set a timer for 1 hour.
1 hour starting now.
Comment down below if your Siri went off. Comment again in an hour if you forgot to turn off that timer. So we've already got this amazing separation happening right now. Let's pour in our, what do we call this? A solution? A mixture? I asked the Reddit chemistry community and they haven't responded yet. But let's put it into the nut milk bag and see if this rig actually works out. Now ideally, we should do this 5 times. Well, I found that 3 is usually sufficient. I've also heard that the first 30 seconds should be discarded. Unfortunately, I've had that anywhere from this much to this much. And I'm not giving up that much punch. If there's still some sediment after the clarified punch has sat in the fridge again, use a turkey baster to carefully suck out the clear top and ditch the bottom.
Warming rays, golden sunlight as the city wakes.
Once we've got the finished product, measure it. And the ratio for sake should be about 20% of the total punch volume. So 11 ounces of sake to about 43 ounces of clarified sangria. That smells wonderful. The 1920s Planter's Punch is a simple recipe, originally designed by and for Myers rum, and I pulled this out of Beach Bum Berry's Potions of the Caribbean. We're using 2 ounces Jamaican rum, 1.5 ounces black tea, 1 ounce of lime juice, and a 1/2 ounce white sugar, scaled up to a quart. Look at that, tannins and citrus. Super simple, super easy. Now, I'm not using Myers, mainly because the version we get is imported through Canada and aged in stainless steel vats, and it's not good, like really not good rum. So we're gonna use Appleton's Signature, mainly because it's the only Appleton rum with Hogo. It's not artificially darkened, which is important when clarifying a cocktail, and they sell it in giant ass jugs. I always make the tea first and add it to the sugar, stirring to dissolve, and then I wait for it to cool before adding the remaining ingredients. The same process applies, so 1 quart of cocktail and 1 cup of milk. And let's just fast forward to the taste test. So let's start with the Planter's Punch. If you were at Tiki Caliente last week, you probably tried this at my room party. This was the lightest of the clarification experiments and is just an awesome punch recipe. I'm going to put this up against the regular version, which I saved before the clarification. Obviously there is a significant difference in color, and the flavor couldn't be further apart.
Warming rays, golden sunlight as the city wakes.
The rum is mellowed by the tea, and the lime almost seems like a necessary afterthought.
5 a.m. as I sing, oh Stockholm love.
The clarified one just tastes light and clean. The flavors are still there, but it's on a whole different level. The sangria next, and I waited because this one has a much more pronounced flavor. It's almost impossible to reduce the strength of the wine and the juice here, so that is always quite prominent, though the sake is still a strong part of this. It's quite pleasurable, very familiar because it is sangria, yet foreign because of what's missing. These are both amazing cocktails and worth the considerable extra effort. Keep checking in for more experiments, and I hope to see you at the next video.